See if you're able to do
Yeah,
that.
we're ready to go on the recording. So hello,
Okay.
everybody. Speaking right now is Marianne McCabe, Product Sales Manager. I'm sorry, Marianne Brell, Product Sales Manager in the New City office. And on the other line is Roberta Perego, Senior Product Sales Manager in the Poughkeepsie office. And tonight we're going to give you new service unit cookie chairs, some cookie basics, getting you ready for the bigger training in January, but helping you feel like you're more ready to take on the job by giving you some basics tonight. So first I'd like you to look at the panel box. Let's see, Roberta, could you, okay, there we go. Over to the right on your screen, you'll see there's a panel box. I hope you're all hearing me right now. But if you see over there in the audio mode, as you can see on your screen now, you can choose either telephone or the microphone from your computer. That will enable you to hear. And then if you have a question right below that audio mode, you'll see that you can type in a question, and periodically over the course of this presentation, we'll be stopping for questions. So type in your question and be assured that later on we will address questions that are typed in there. So right now we'd like you to check the sound. And if you can't hear, please click on the hand symbol so we can see that you're having a problem.
And we'll give just a few seconds for people to do that, because if they can't hear us, they're reading what they're supposed to do. So far, I don't see any hands going up, so that's a good thing. Okay, I think we're good, Marianne.
Okay. So as I said, there is a question box over there in that panel on the right. And anytime, just ask a question there, and we will address the questions, as I say, periodically during this presentation. Everyone's muted during this presentation, so if you have a question, you're going to need to type it in there. So here's a little picture of each of us who is a product sales manager for Girl Scouts Heart of the Hudson. Tonight we have Roberta on the line here. She's in Poughkeepsie, and over here is Marianne. We've got Aurora up here, who is in the Westchester office, and over in the lower left is our Kingston and Middletown Queen, Dina Hamill. Our extensions are here, and on all of the publications that you get, you'll see our extensions and contact information for us. So tonight's presentation, we expect that after you go through this presentation with us, you'll be able to understand the benefits of the cookie program, and we will give you basic information about the duties that you'll be performing as service unit cookie chair, and you'll be prepared to talk to the service unit about cookies and be ready to give your training to the troops in your service unit. And you'll understand the language of cookies, because there are a lot of short names or shorthand that we give to things, so we'll cover a few of those. And you'll have the basics of eBuddy, seeing live screens tonight for that, ones you probably haven't seen before, because these are the service unit cookie chair screens. And then you'll know where and how to get any help you might need. Did you know that the Girl Scout cookie sale is the largest girl-run business in the country? Did you know there are many famous women who were Girl Scouts, like Gloria Steinem, Sally Ride, Hillary Clinton, Sandra Day O'Connor, Barbara Walters? And all of those women learned skills that they could use for the rest of their lives, just like the girls today would learn goal setting, decision making. They'd learn interpersonal skills. They learn about dealing with money, budgeting, and some business ethics.
And we like to point out that those are skills that are sought after by colleges and by employers, so they really are good lifelong skills.
Right. Girls learn that what they do has benefits and consequences. What they do, they can work together and achieve a goal. So I want to remind you that the Girl Scout sale is open to all Girl Scouts. Every Girl Scout in the troop, every Girl Scout who is individually registered. Those girls are also called Juliets. And daisies are part of the cookie sale. They have been for several years. You might hear from other people they're not. That's wrong information. Daisies have been included in the cookie sale for 5 years or so, and they are great sellers. They really can help their troop get off the ground with positive sales, and they usually do. So make sure every daisy troop, sometimes they're fairly new, you want to make sure the information gets out to those new leaders that they can be part of the sale. Did you know every council sets its own sale period? So we have other councils selling at different times. It's because the councils choose their own sale period for what they think is best for the troops in their area. Did you know there were 2 bakers licensed by GS USA? Girl Scouts has identified 2 bakers. We have Little Brownie Bakers that bakes about 2/3 of the cookies in the United States, and then ABC Cookies bakes the other third. You sometimes hear of other varieties of cookies that we don't sell. Probably those are ABC cookies. And Little Brownie gets plenty of press for its delicious cookies that we've been carrying for many years. So I mentioned that we'd be talking about cookie lingo or cookie speak. And here are a few of the things that you'll hear over and over. Even tonight you'll hear. So LBB is what we call Little Brownie Bakers, and as I said, that is who bakes the cookies Girl Scouts Heart of the Hudson sells. eBuddy is the internet-based program that you've probably used within your troop to track cookie sales and girl sales. All of the information for the cookie sale is in eBuddy. You want to be there for rewards and boxes of cookies, cases. eBuddy keeps all of that information straight for us, for the service unit and the troop. The dashboard is the first screen you'll see in eBuddy. We'll see a sample of that tonight. Initial order is the first phase of the sale. Goal Getter is the second phase. It's a way for girls to continue selling cookies after initial order is placed. That can help girls who are a little behind catch up to other girls in their troop, or it can help them push on to get higher rewards and better profits for the troop. GOC is short for Gift of Caring, and that is the objective of that is to sell cookies to be donated to a group. The troop usually chooses who their GOC, their Gift of Caring recipient is, and when the girls sell cookies, they say, we would like to donate cookies to, be it the shelter or Hometown Heroes, whoever the troop identified as their recipient. It could be this next one. It could be Operation Cookie Drop, which is Girl Scout Heart of the Hudson's Gift of Caring program, where we have cookies sent to the military. We actually have cookies get on ships and go far away to our military serving abroad. We have them go to veterans, to military hospitals, and that is something all coordinated by Heart of the Hudson and a wonderful volunteer who heads that up for us. DOC is Digital Order Card. That is the online piece that's part of the cookie sale and has been for the past 3 years. We have some exciting things happening on that front this year. A PSM is yours truly and Roberta, Dina, and Aurora. Those are the product sale managers in each office who are here to help you. A bubble sheet is sometimes called a dot sheet also. It's that colorful sheet that you get at delivery, and you as service unit chair would be the person preparing those sheets, telling the color of the cookie box, and inside that is a number showing how many cases of cookies will be coming to each troop. So purple Samoas, it says how many cases in there you're getting of Samoas. So our cookies this year, we have a wide range of cookies. Again, we have 8 varieties this next year. We have the core varieties that we've had in the past. Thin Mints, our top seller. Samoa, our second top seller. Tagalongs, trefoils, Do-Si-Dos, and Savannah Smiles. This year we have 2 specialty cookies. Back for its 3rd year is Toffee-Tastics, the gluten-free cookie that previously had to be ordered separately, but this year will be on the girl order card. Yay! That should make things that should make things easier for everyone. And it will help publicize the fact that Girl Scouts does have some great gluten-free tasty cookies for those who are gluten-free. And this year, I know many of us have seen this because I got plenty of emails the day this was announced. S'mores is our new variety. So that we'll be hearing a lot more of at the January sale, but both of those cookies will be $5 this year. Toffee-Tastics have been $5, and now with the introduction of this new clean cookie, S'mores, that's a $5 variety.
And the rest of our cookies are still $4 a box.
Thank you. So cookies in the big picture. Cookies benefit the council and the girls in many ways. Some of the ways that the cookie sale benefits our girls is the cookie sales support maintenance of camp properties and Girl Scout houses. We have 19 properties that we maintain and are available for troops and girls. The money also helps support trainings for leaders. Probably many of you took Volunteer Essentials. That's supported by cookie sales. Supporting council programs. Many of the girls are all over Connections, signing up for things that we offer. That's supported by cookie sales, as is summer camp, which so many girls also enjoy each year. Roberta, would you take on telling us about eBuddy?
I sure will. This is the tricky part. Oops, wait a
Oh,
minute.
yes.
Oops, wait a minute. It's a very tricky part.
We sound very professional, wouldn't you say?
By the end of cookie season, we will be, because that's when we do all of our webinars. But the first one gets a little tricky. Okay, so.
Well, one thing I will say right here, Roberta, while you're setting up, is each year, Little Brownie, LBB, changes. They are very responsible about security. So every year there's a new password that you have to use to go into eBuddy the first time. So if you have not done that this year, you should write down this password to try later in the year to get in. It's capital D-O-S-I, DOSI, at, that's an A symbol, the at symbol, 4941. You're going to need that to get into eBuddy. Roberta,
Okay,
I see you're ready to go.
Can you see the screen with me?
I can.
What? Okay.
I see your cursor.
Okay. So this is where you're going to sign in, and I'm going to sign in as somebody else. And now when you log in, you're going to first have to answer the security questions that Marianne mentioned and create a new password. It has to be 8 characters, 1 has to be a capital letter, 1 has to be a non-letter. It can be a number or a symbol. And then you'll get into this kind of a screen. So this is the dashboard. This is actually from our demo site, and I've set up a small service unit with only has 3 troops in it. It'll have 4 when we're done, because I'm going to show you how to add a troop. Most of you will have more than this. Some of you will have way more than this. So when you get into this page, it shows you several things. Right up here, and we're going to show you how to do this later, you can post a message that will show up on each troop's dashboard. We oftentimes put messages here to show up on your dashboards and sometimes also on the troops. So be sure to look at that when you log in. You'll also see what your sales for the service unit were the previous year, and if you hover right at the very top, it will show you the exact number of, I think this is in boxes that you sold. And then this one is for this coming year. I've put some sales in here already, so that's why it shows something. So you can compare and see how you're doing. And it tells you right down here what the change is. There's a checklist of things you need to do. You can check them off when you've done them. It tells you your troop status. Has this troop submitted its order yet? Looks like none of these troops have submitted their orders. And it gives you your financial status for the service unit. All the rewards are listed here, and it will show you how many sticky note sets are you getting, how many bottle charm wish necklaces. There's all kinds of information on this page, so it's really interesting to look at it. You can also click on any of these tabs across the top, and they'll give you just what they say they're going to give you. You can click on the Help Center. It's not active in the demo site, so we can't show you that. But if you click on that, there are eBuddy manuals at the troop level and the service unit level, and lots of help is available there. Over here, where you see Council right now, once we load in the delivery site information, there will be a second tab, and we'll show you a picture of it later, that will say Delivery over here. Now, if you click on the Contacts, this is going to show you who the contact person is for this service unit, so your name should be there. If you have a team of people and you have other people working with you and they're not in there yet, you can add them into this page, and we'll show you how you can do that. Also, you can see this for each troop. So if you click on a troop and you click on the troop contacts page, you would see, if there were a contact, you would see it there. I didn't do that for this. Oops. And then you would click back on your service unit name to get back to the service unit page. Okay. So there are a few things that we do in eBuddy that we want to let you know about. And one of them is we can communicate with our troops in eBuddy. We can communicate with you. And we do that a lot. So during cookie season, actually starting like next week, you'll want to keep checking your email for emails from us through eBuddy. You can't respond to those emails. They're informational. So if you had a question, you would get back to us on our individual emails. In order to send an email to your troops, you would click on your Contacts tab, and you'll see this email branch. So you click on that, and here's where you can do your email. It gives you some information here. You put your subject in here. You type your message in here. You can select who you want to send it to. If you want to send it to all of these people, you just click one time and select all. If you have several leaders or several cookie chairs in the troop, one of them might be listed as primary. When they signed in, they would have clicked on primary. If you want to send it only to the primaries, you would click over here. The other option you have is to send it to just whoever you want. Do you want to send it to just the troop leaders? Maybe the troop leaders and the cookie chairs. There's a couple of other options here. The troop view only user is somebody who can look at your troop. They can see everything that's in it, but they can't change anything. They can't add anything to it. You might have somebody who you want to do that. Then there's a place where you add them as a troop view only user. Troop cookie pickup only users, that's a person who is designated to pick up cookies from the cookie cupboard, and that's all that they do. We don't really use that very much, but you might want to. If you have somebody who's always going to pick up the cookies, we do want to see their name in eBuddy if it's not one of the leaders or it's not the cookie chair. The booth recorder only users, that's an app that you'll learn about in the next training. And if you have people who have that as their designation, you would click that. One thing you don't, eBuddy will give messages or abilities in here at the lowest level. So if you had a troop cookie chair and you also click them on as a troop view only user, all they'd be able to do then is look at what's in there because they're a view only. So you want to make sure you've got them in only at the highest level that you want them. So once you've selected everything, you do have to click here on I'm not a robot, and it gives you a little quiz to prove you're not a robot, and it asks you to do something, and when you're done, you can click on the one that you think is the right one, and if you're right, it will know that you're not a robot, and it will send out your email when you click send email. If you haven't done that and you click send email, you'll get an error message. There's another way we can communicate, and that's by putting a message on the dashboard. And to do that, you go to your Settings tab. You're going to click on Edit Message, because that's what you're going to edit right now. And you would type a message here. Hello, welcome to cookie season. And you're going to update the notices. And now, if you go into one of these troops and you go to their dashboard, you'll see that notice right here. It won't go away until you delete it. So if it's something that's a timely thing, like remember your initial order is due in 3 days, well, once that 3 days passes, you're going to want to delete that message. So you just go in, highlight it, hit delete, and it's done, and click update.
Roberta, excuse
yes.
me. When you were talking about the contacts within a troop, you know, there's troop leaders and such, does that get loaded by us into eBuddy?
We will be loading the troop leaders, and in some cases, the co-leader. If there's just one leader and one co-leader, we're going to add them both in. If there are multiple people, we're just going to put the leaders in to make it a little smaller upload.
And then there will be phone numbers and emails, perhaps, that kind of contact information?
Well, they have to put in that information when they log in for the first time.
Thank you.
But also the leaders and the service unit chairs can add people. And I'm going to show you how to do that now. So if you have a new troop leader or you are given information about a troop chair, you're going to click on Edit Settings, and then you're going to look at these headings, and you're going to add, if you're going to add a service unit cookie chair, another person, you would put their email in here, then their first and last name, and click on Update at the bottom, and that's all you have to do. If you want to add a troop person, you're going to be in the troop, and you can get into all these troops, as you saw, and you would add it at the troop level. But the troop leader can also do that. And those, that will be added by early next week, and we will send out an email through eBuddy, so everyone who's been put in there will know that they're in there, and they'll be able to go in and look. And we'll send an email when all the girls' names are in there, so that the leaders can make sure that all of their girls have been listed. And they will get information as to what to do if they are missing girls, and all that will come out at the next training in January. Okay, now you may have to add a troop, because we all service units have troops that get on board a little bit late. So if you have to add a troop, if you have multiple troops, you can click on Add up to 11 troops, and you can do them all at one time. And we're going to just add one troop just to show you. The only things you really have to have is the troop number and the level that troop is. You do have to put something in the email here, and it can be phony. If you know it, it's best to put the right information in. But if you don't, then you can just put anything in, or you can just put X's. And then you're going to update. And now you see that troop is listed over here in my list of troops. So it's really very easy to do that. The other thing that you can see on this list, if a troop had submitted their order, you would have something under here that would say unsubmit cookie order. If they've submitted their initial rewards order, it would say under here unsubmit. So that if a troop submits their order and then they have to make a change to it, you can unsubmit their order and send it back to them. And we'll talk more about that. And it will be in an eBuddy guide that we're going to give you at your training. So we did a contact. Now, The next important thing is submitting your initial order. So these troops have not submitted their initial order yet, and that's why there's an asterisk at the end of their troop number. If some of them had submitted, they wouldn't have an asterisk. So when it's close to time for you to submit the service unit initial order, you want to check this screen, and if you see troops that have not submitted, you want to give them a reminder. Make sure that they did participate and they do have an initial order to submit. Once everything's submitted, you will click on Submit Order and your order will come to us. Let me see if there's anything that I wanted to do that I missed. Okay, I think we've got all of that. So now I'm going to switch back to you, Marianne.
Okay, and we're going to look at questions, which I think, Roberta, you're going to have to read. They're not obvious to me.
Right.
I saw someone wanted to know about prices of cookies and the core varieties. That would be mints, Samoas, do-si-dos, trefoils, tagalongs are $4, and the gluten-free Toffee-tastics are $5, as are the new s'more cookies, $5 a box.
That's the only one I see in there so far.
Okay. Mine has gone away.
Let me take one more look. I'm going to move it. Oh my goodness, mine's gone away too. What happened to it? Oh, this is not good. There it is. Yes, that was the only question.
Okay. Then we'll keep moving forward. Got an educated bunch on the phone. Thank you. So digital cookie is the next thing we're going to briefly talk about. And digital cookie is the additional way of marketing for girls. Girls can reach customers online. Girls can set up their own website with the help of the digital cookie site, which is quite easy to use, easier this year than last. And customers can pay by credit card. For the past 2 years, customers have paid by credit card and had cookies shipped to them, and they paid shipping. This year, this is the first year we're part of this, cookies can be ordered online during initial order, and the girl can deliver those cookies to her customer. So cookies ordered in digital cookie during initial order, if the customer is choosing for a girl, their girl, to deliver to them, those cookies will come on the truck at delivery, and girls will deliver the cookies to customers who've paid for their order online and ordered online. That should make a lot of people happy because there will be no collecting of dollars for the cookies that are ordered online because it's paid by credit card. Delivery. As Service Unit Cookie Chair, you are responsible for coordinating delivery. We have two types of delivery. We have regional deliveries where many service units get cookies at a designated place on the same day, and they share the space and they roll through and pick up their cookies from many different troops in different service units on the same day. We also have single service unit deliveries. So the truck comes and delivers to that service unit. Some of the more remote areas have to go with this kind of delivery. And there's two kinds of delivery at either of those sites. It could be a truck drop where what you see is in the picture above. So there's a truck there, and then there's cookies, and troops get their cookies at this outside site, picking up the cases that they need using the bubble sheets we mentioned earlier. There's also a standard delivery where the trucker brings the cookies into a designated site, maybe a fire station, ambulance corps, school, church, and the cookies are brought in and then subdivided inside, and troops come and pick up their cookies over the course of the day. When you're the service unit cookie chair, you need to find volunteers to help you make that all happen easily. You need people to help you count and double count. You need to be sure that every troop knows the date and the time that the cookies are coming, and you have them sign up in eBuddy for a delivery pickup time. And then you want every troop to sign for the cookies so there's no dispute about what everyone got at the delivery day. So in eBuddy, Roberta, would you like to talk about this, please, the delivery settings?
Sure.
I think just use these screens.
Sure. So when you're in your delivery settings, you'll click on this. It's hard to see, but you'll click on this little delivery tab, and that will bring you into your delivery dashboard, which will be up at the top. And this is a closer picture of that dashboard. So you have a few options here. If you click on settings, you can change the settings. We are going to carry over last year's delivery site information because most of them remain the same from year to year. There are some that will change. So you're going to look at this and you're going to update whatever needs to be updated. So if you have a different location, the delivery station phone number will have to be changed. If you have the same location, you're going to the same school parking lot that the service unit has used for the past 5 years, then that's probably okay. But the contact person may be different because now you're the service unit chair. And so if you're handling delivery, your name's going to be in there. Sometimes in the service units we have 2 or 3 chairs, and there might be one who's responsible for delivery. So that person's name would be in here. Even though she's not the main chair, her or his name would go in there. This just tells you what kind of a drop it is. So this is a trailer drop. This will probably populate when we carry the information over. You won't know your delivery date or time until we tell you what it is, and we will be populating that. This is your service unit number. The service unit agent will also populate in there because we fill that out. You can put comments in here if you want. We may have to put a comment in there for the service unit or for the troops. There's a mail to address, and that is where we're mailing supplies to. If we're delivering to a different location, which in most cases we are for cookies, you want to put that delivery location information in there if it has changed from the previous year. So just look at it all and make sure that everything's in there. And if we're missing phone numbers, like this one is missing phone numbers for the deliver to, we definitely want phone numbers in there so that we can get in touch with you if we have to.
And the trucker uses this information, so as accurate as it can be is helpful to everyone to make sure he can find where he's going, talk to the right person, and be there when you're expecting him.
Right. And you will, if you're part of a big regional delivery, usually there's one service unit that takes responsibility for communicating, and all the information goes into that service unit's delivery tab. And so if you're part of a big delivery, regional delivery, you might not have any information in your delivery setting. You won't have a delivery site in there. What you will do if you're not part of a big regional delivery, we will be sending you a form, a delivery site information form that you will fill out. We'll tell you when we need it back. We'll be emailing it to you. You'll send it back to us, and you'll put in there your delivery site information. Even if it's the same that it's been for years and years, you're still going to fill that out, and all the other information it will ask for. It will also give you an opportunity to select 3 different dates. So your first choice, your second choice, your third choice, as well as times of day, which will be just morning or afternoon, AM or PM. So if you're available all day on April 2nd, you might want to put in April 2nd AM and April 2nd PM as your first and second choice, and maybe April 4th PM for your third choice. whatever would work for you. The delivery agents get those forms, we send them to them, and they come up with their schedule and they send it back to us and we look at it and we see that, you know, whether they've gotten your first choice or your second choice, or if they got it wrong. Maybe you could only do AM and they've got you down for PM. So we get those things corrected first, and then we put the information in eBuddy and let you know when your delivery date is. And that comes out only about a week before you're going to get your cookies. The dates for the big regional deliveries we have a little earlier because we have to make arrangements with the place and with the truckers, because sometimes they need, you know, 3 or 4 trucks on the same day, and so we work that out with them, and we usually have those dates ahead of time.
I just want to say one other thing about delivery, which is the service unit cookie chair is generally responsible for arranging with the site about delivery. So if you're planning to go to the ambulance corps and you've always gone there, you've got to speak to the ambulance corps and clear the dates or find out what dates from them work for them. So you have responsibility in setting up the site and the time, you know, making sure that where you're planning to deliver is still okay to deliver there and what dates are going to work.
Right. You can't just assume that because you've done it for the past 5 years, this year is going to be the same. You do have to, you know, contact them and make sure it still works for them.
Thank you.
Okay. I think we're, okay. So this is, whoops.
I'm going back one.
So this is another view of your delivery dashboard. It has no messages on it right now. I think the calendar, I'm not 100% sure if the calendar will populate with delivery information, so that'll be a surprise for all of us. And again, you can click on any of these. The sign-up sheet you're going to want to click on. You've probably seen it before if you had a troop. It has all the different times. Sometimes deliveries are 3 minutes between troops, sometimes they're 5. All the time slots are in there, and the troops go in and they select the time that they want. You do need to keep checking that to make sure that the troops have signed up. Sometimes people forget to do that. And you don't want to print it until the very, very last minute, because that is open right up until your delivery starts and even during that day. So hopefully you will have all your troops signed up ahead of time, and you do need to check it and remind them. You're going to bring that, you're going to print that and bring that with you, a few copies, so that you can check off the troops as they come and you know who's going to come next, because you've got to hand those bubble sheets to the drivers of the trucks, yeah, in troop order. And also, if a troop doesn't show up, you know, you might want to give them a 15-minute leeway. But after that, you might want to contact them, and you should contact them. So you want to bring their phone numbers along too, so that they will, so that if something happened, maybe they forgot. I've been at deliveries where we've called somebody and they totally forgot, or the wife went out and the husband was supposed to come and pick up the cookies and he laid down and fell asleep. You never know. So you do want to check on that, because if they don't show up to pick up their cookies, those cookies are going back to the warehouse on that truck, and that troop will have to come to the warehouse to pick up their cookies. And they have to make an appointment through us with the warehouse to pick up their cookies. They can't just go tomorrow because they feel like it. Most troops are not happy with that. So we encourage you to strongly encourage them to have somebody show up at the delivery to get those cookies.
And show up on time, because the warehouses are in the northern counties of our area. So it may be an hour trip for people to go up to the warehouse. So
right.
Troops be warned is all. You want to be clear to everyone that if they don't come, they've got to chase their boxes of cookies that are in the warehouse.
Right. Okay, so we do have another question. Do they still charge shipping fees if ordered online, paid by credit card, and delivered by the girl? No. There are no shipping charges. There is a credit card fee, but the council pays those credit card fees just like they do for donated cookies. So this is a really good option. We think that people are going to be real happy about this because they will be able to order online and pay with a credit card and pick their cookies up from the girl. And we'll have much more information, more detailed information on what that involves, because there are things the parents have to do and there are things that the leaders have to do in order to make this work. So you'll get more information on that. And when will the training be in January for cookie sales? You will be getting an invitation shortly. They are the week of January 9th. I'm looking for my calendar. Second, and I can tell you January 10th will be in Middletown in the evening. January 11th will be in Pleasantville. There'll be a morning and an evening session. On January 12th, we're going to have one in New City and also one in Kingston on the same night. And then on the 14th, there will be one in Fishkill in the morning. But you will get that invitation before the holidays.
And as a new chair, as any chair, you can attend whichever day is good for you. If Saturday is better for you and you live in New City, it's no problem for you to attend Saturday training in Fishkill.
But we do ask you to respond so that we know how many are coming and, you know, we have the supplies for you. Okay, there are no more questions at this point in time.
Thank you. So I'm going to quickly go over the phases of the cookie sale. So initial order this year starts February 3rd and ends March 5th. So during that period, you're going to be responsible for making sure troops know what their deadlines are and when they're locked out. All of that information is in the troop guide for the troops, but you as service unit chair will have a guide that's strictly for you that has all of the dates that you need to have you need to know about your lockout dates, but to remind them of what dates they need to be aware of. And as the service unit cookie chair, you're going to be responsible for reviewing that sheet. Roberta showed us before an overall sheet of the service unit order. You want to look at that and make sure that troops haven't made an error. Sometimes troops order 100 cases when they really meant 10. So you want to give it some mental floss looking through there. Make sure that it looks about right for a troop. You're going to check that all troops have submitted their initial order for cookies and later for rewards. For rewards, initial order rewards. And because there are initial order rewards that are associated with only initial order. Girls, if they achieve certain levels on the cookie card, earn rewards for that initial order period. And you're going to want to be sure those things are ordered because you want to give them out as soon as they arrive. Goal getter sales start the day after initial order ends. So girls should be getting goal getter cards, which are the black and white sheets with the cookie on them, and girls can continue to sell. You should encourage the troops to continue to sell because girls can continue to earn profit for their troop and get to higher levels for themselves through the goal getter orders. Sometimes troops start late, and this would be another way that they could get the profit they're hoping for, because maybe a Daisy troop is just getting formed by then. They can be part of goal getter. We want to be sure everyone knows this is open to them and that cookie sale does not end after initial order is placed. Another way of reaching new customers is at booth sales. We have two different periods of booth sales. We have March booths around Girl Scouts' birthday. March booths are March 10th through 19th, and regular booths, which follow that after cookies are delivered to everyone. Regular booths are April 7th through May 13th. As the chair, we would like you to keep checking the booth tab several times a week to make sure that if a troop needs to have an approval, which any booth sales in there have to be approved by the service unit, we want you to click approve as long as it looks cool. Cool in that two people aren't planning to sell in front of the same grocery store on the same day. You can help sort some of that out. But if you approve that, that will help the troops get additional marketing, because that will go on the GSUSA site Cookie Finder. So when people put into the internet looking for Girl Scout cookies, and once they put their zip code in, they will be found as a booth as long as their booth is in eBuddy and someone has approved that pending sale. Do encourage troops to be part of booth sales, because the kids just love being out there and having the table. It's just like playing store when we were kids. They reach customers, they can talk about their Girl Scouting experience, and customers like to help girls. So being out there at a booth is fun for everyone, and the profit is in hand at the end of the day. So booth sales in March is a great way to earn some profit early in the season, and you can get cookies out there to our adoring fans. Regular booth sales in the April to May period help everyone reach goals, and service units earn bonuses if they sell 10% or 20% or 30% more than they did last year. There is a $100 bonus for a 10% increase, a $200 bonus for a 20% increase, and a $500 bonus for a 30% increase. So it's really worth helping everyone make the most of the cookie sale, because not only can the troops profit, but the service unit can too from a boost in sales. Roberta, would you do the boxes?
Sure.
Thank you.
So the week of January 2nd, right after New Year's, you're going to get some boxes at your house. Some of you are going to get lots of boxes. Some of you will just get a couple. So what's in those boxes anyway? Well, you've got a bunch of materials that you're going to need to sort out, and this is how you're going to sort them out. There's one for each girl of these items: the permission slip, the money envelope, the order card, the go-getter card, and the parent guide. So if a troop has 10 girls in it, you're going to give that troop 10 of each of those items. The troop gets one troop guide. They get 2 receipt books. These they can use when the girls pick up their initial order from the troop and when they pick up go-getter orders. And each troop will get 1 box of the new S'mores cookie to try in their troop meeting. So it's 1 box per troop. Now for some troops that's not going to be enough. They might have to break them in half, but this is what they allow us, is 1 box per troop. And those will come in a separate delivery, so those will be in a separate box. For the service unit, that's for you. You're going to get a bunch of those bubble sheets with the colorful circles on them, and eBuddy will give you instructions when the time comes for printing them. You can load those sheets into your printer, or if you want to use up your color ink, I don't know why you would, but if you want to, you can print on plain white paper and have your ink make the colors. But eBuddy will print the forms with the correct number of cases of each variety, so it's really pretty easy to do that. And you'll probably have more bubble sheets than you need. If you're in a big regional delivery, then the person who's actually running that delivery might want to collect your bubble sheets and print everybody's. That's kind of up to the people who are running those deliveries. And you should have some extra receipt books. Some troops might need more than 2. Some may not even need 2. There are other things that you can use as receipts that you can print off of eBuddy, but a lot of troops do want those books. So you should have all of those things, and you should sort them out prior to the training that you're going to do for your troops. Marianne, anything to add to that?
No, there is, in your service unit guide, it will tell you some of these things, so don't feel like you have to furiously write these things down. And when you get the package from Little Brownie with these printed materials, it tells you in there how it says 1G, so that means one per girl, 1T, one per troop. So that's your guide for packing for each troop.
They're not necessarily packed real easily. You kind of have to unpack the whole box and then start sorting them out. That's one thing that
Right, you just got to get to the bottom of the box to make sure. Sometimes we hear from people that they didn't have it. No, it's there. It just happens to be on the bottom of the box.
Mm-hmm.
They do a pretty good job of making sure you get what you're supposed to get.
Yes.
I'm going to go to the next slide, which is questions, and I don't see any questions. Do you see questions, Roberta?
I don't think so.
We're up to date on that.
No more questions yet.
Okay.
Good. Either they're very knowledgeable or they're totally confused.
I'm going with the former. So training troop chairs and leaders. To be ready for this day, be sure you get a list from your service unit registrar or your service unit manager, a list of troops. They get a list every month of currently registered troops and girls. So that's the most accurate information you're going to have for who's in your service unit. You're going to want to get contact the leaders for the names of the troop cookie chair and contact information. Be sure that the troop cookie chair gets invited. Sometimes leaders go to meetings and they don't invite the troop cookie chair. You want the person to be at your training who you're going to be dealing with all cookie season. So be sure that the leaders invite the troop cookie chairs, or at the best would be to make sure you have their information and you send them an email to invite them. And then you have your training scheduled. Everyone should know when your training is. Some people do morning and night. You have to see what's the best for your service unit. Use a sign-in sheet, and on that sign-in sheet I recommend that you have the person a slot for their name, their email address, and their phone number so that you can get them. Some people use email to contact, and I've seen lots of service units use texting to contact people. And allow at least an hour to do the training, because there can be lots of questions, and it's just great when you don't feel like you're pressured to finish, because this is very important business for people, and we do find that the best attended meetings are the ones that cookies are being distributed and people are learning all the details about the cookie sale. So, Roberta, can I switch it back to you again?
You sure can.
Thank you.
So we hope that you've learned a little bit. We're sure that you're going to still have a lot of questions. A lot of them will be answered at the training in January. But if you need help, we've got you covered. So you're going to get a service unit guide when you come to the training in January that will have all the dates in it and helpful information you need. You're also going to have a troop guide in your box that you can look at. Many of you also have a troop, so you'll be able to keep possession of that. And we also do post that troop guide on our website. You'll get an eBuddy guide that will tell you some of the things you can do in eBuddy to help your service unit. The eBuddy manuals, as I mentioned, are on the eBuddy website. And you have us, the product sales managers. You can contact any one of us when you have a question. You can call, you can email. Generally speaking, I would say email is the best way. We might want to call you back because sometimes you really need to talk, but we get our emails faster, so an email is preferable. And our phone numbers and email addresses will be in your service unit guide. And if you misplace it or you're not sure who to call, you can't find the number, you can always call our 800 number for customer care and they will refer you to us.
And Roberta, you said it earlier, but we use eBuddy to communicate with you, and we do try to keep ahead of what you're going to need to do. So we try to send you emails to say, okay, this week you should be thinking about this or that, because it's your first time around, but we usually contact all of service unit cookie chairs to keep them ahead of any deadlines that are coming up or details that they need to be sure they've taken care of.
Right.
Have any more
And
questions there?
I
Sorry.
don't see any new questions. If you've got a question, hurry up and get it in there.
I'm going to wait a minute to see if anyone does have a question.
Okay, not seeing anything else coming through.
Okay.
But we'll still have a couple minutes before we close, and I'll keep my eye on that box.
Okay. Oops. So we'll say a great big thank you. We look forward to seeing you in January, and thank you so much for being on the call tonight, because we're looking forward to working with you some more, because you're going to help us make the 2017 our best cookie season ever. Thank you very much for being on the webinar tonight. We hope you've learned some things. You feel ready to get on to the next training in January. And thank you for being part of 100 years of Girl Scouts selling cookies. That's a tongue twister, but this is the year.
Yes, that's a big thing this year. It's 100 years since Girl Scouts have been selling cookies. You might be aware that there is a special cookie patch for any girls who have gone into the fall product sale online site, created an avatar, and sent 12 emails. They will be eligible if they sell 100 boxes of cookies on their initial cookie order. Then they'll be eligible to earn a special patch. It's an avatar patch, their avatar that they created, and it has some cookies on it, and it says 100 years of Girl Scouts selling cookies. So it's really a great patch. We have left that website open until the end of December because we found out as we closed out fall product sale that a lot of girls had not done that yet. And we want to make sure that all the girls know that they need to do that so that they'll be eligible for the cookie patch. Wouldn't it be a shame if a girl sold 105 boxes on her initial order and said, yay, I'm going to get that special patch, only she hadn't created her avatar in the fall product sale, and it will be too late. So you can help us to get that word out. That online site is open through the end of December. If anybody has a problem finding it or getting into it, they can contact us. And we do have one more question. Will we get this presentation? We will not be emailing it to you, but it will be, like I said in the beginning, it will be on our website. We did record it. It will be on our website probably next week because the person who posts it for us is at a conference this week. So you will have access to it before the training in January. And here's a question. They can still get the special patch even if they didn't send the 12 emails. No, you have to send 12 emails in order to get the cookie patch. You have to design your avatar and send 12 emails. So that part is they have to do that. Otherwise, they won't qualify. And if they get orders from those 12 emails, that's wonderful. The troop will make a little more money, and there's no work on your part. So it's worth it. That was the last question.
Okay. Very good.
So,
well, thank you to everyone. We can't wait to see you in January. And I'll bet you have some new questions then. We'll look forward to seeing you then.
Okay, and happy holidays to everybody.
And good night from Mary Ann and Roberta. Good night.
Good night.